Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Wednesday. Means we're brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. About half the work week in the rearview mirror. Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazelli back there on the ones and twos. Fired up. You are here with us. And we got a lot to get to. We will do What If Wednesday coming up in 30 minutes. Lane Kiffin talked about his wide receivers. I dug up some statistics on his Ole Miss wide receivers. Kind of in lockstep with what he had to say yesterday at his news conference. The Masters cranks up tomorrow. I've got my picks. I'll take $100. See how we can do over the course of the weekend. We'll grade it out on Monday. Koki Riley of The Advocate covers the baseball team. He'll be here at 2 o'clock. The Saints have picked up Brian Brzez's option. Good idea, bad idea. My thoughts in hour 2 and my SEC baseball power rankings coming your way as well. So lock us in. Let's crank it up with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
These midweek games are getting almost impossible to watch. I laid it out last night for you. Told you they don't make it easy. They fall behind every week. They're fighting, scrapping, and clawing against teams from the Southland and the SWAC. And last night was no different. LSU got into a slugfest with Bethune-Cookman. And LSU bashed out 11 hits, hit the ball out of the ballpark, stung it up and down the lineup. But the pitching faltered. The defense faltered. The two biggest warts on this team showed up in spades. Bethune-Cookman gets out with a 10-7 win from Alex Box Stadium. It looked good to start. Marcos Paz goes out there and gives you what I was looking for, a 5-pitch first inning. Yes! And then LSU goes and gets 2 runs in the first inning. Okay. You go to Knoxville, you get a dramatic series win, you come back home, had a nice crowd, the weather's good, your starter gets you a quick inning, boom, you go out and get 2. Let's roll. Run rule these guys. Bam, Bethune-Cookman 3 runs. 6 hits in the second inning. Only one of them was cheap, a little flare into right field. The other ones were rockets all over the place. And from that point forward, you were in a dogfight. LSU tied it in the second, took the lead in the third. Bethune-Cookman tied it in the fourth. LSU took the lead in the bottom half. Bethune-Cookman tied it in the fifth. LSU tied it in the bottom of the sixth on the Jake Brown homer. And then you had the 7-run fifth. And 7-run fifth is where the 5-run seventh, I should say, is where I'll spend some time right now. Like, this is a problem. I told you yesterday, Gavin Guidry threw over 50 pitches. He's not going to be available. Zach Cowan threw over 50 pitches. He's not going to be available. Are you going to be able to get to Devin Sheeran with the middle of your pitching staff? And you go out there in the 7th inning with a 1-run lead, and Santiago Garcia's on the mound, and he gets a pop-up. And then he gives up the triple to the wall in left field that Chris Stanfield nearly ran down and crashed into the wall. And then Martinez rifles a single into left field to tie the game. So you go to Danny Lockenmeyer with a runner on first base. The first pitch he throws hits the batter. Okay, you're out. Give me Maverick Rizzi. The third pitch he throws hits the batter. But he gets it out. Gets a fly ball to right field. Jake Brown makes the catch. Strongest arm on the team. Comes up firing. Throws a seed home. And Bethune-Cookman holds the runner at third base. So you're in the game. Yeah, the bases are loaded, but there's 2 out. How does Maverick Rizzi respond? Walks Almonte, walks Watson, 2 runs come in to score. Dax Dothie comes in because you can't throw strikes. Dothie will throw strikes. He throws a strike on the first pitch, and it's smoked to second base, and Seth Dardar plays it off to the side. It rolls up his arm into center field. Now, it looked like Seth Dardar had mangled his leg earlier in the game, and the umpire did shield Dardar's view briefly on a hard-hit ground ball. The play has to be made. Cost you 2 runs. And that, in a nutshell, that inning is what has plagued LSU. You got an inconsistent bullpen that does not throw the ball over the plate. Maverick Rizzi has now allowed a total of 21 free bases between walks and hit batsmen in 17 and a third innings. 21 free bases in 17 and a third innings. Significantly more than one an inning. And you lose the game. I have a far bigger problem with the relievers hitting two guys, walking two guys, and the second base making an error. A far bigger problem with that than the next half inning where you got gifted two base runners via hit by pitch and you loaded the bases with nobody out, and then Milam and Brown and Pearson struck out. You strike out sometimes. It happens. The guy made some good pitches. He threw a good changeup to Milam. He threw a good changeup to Brown. He threw a good 3-2 breaking ball to John Pearson. He got out of the inning. It happens. People strike out. You don't have to hit guys with the lead. You don't have to walk guys with your now veteran sophomore reliever with the bases loaded in a tie ball game. That's why you lose. There were other issues in this game. But the bullpen, which had to be counted on because you didn't have Cowan and you didn't have Guidry, and Sheeran wasn't coming in at that point, it faltered because the depth of this pitching staff is not very good. Kason Evans is functional on Fridays. He was spectacular against Oklahoma. He's been okay in the other games in the SEC, but he's functional. William Schmidt is functional. Zach Cowan's been excellent recently. Sheeran can be overpowering. He's been pretty good. Beyond that, you've got a bunch of guys who are every once in a while really good and far more often wildly inconsistent. That is what this pitching staff is today. And that's, to me, what cost you the game. You let a team come in from the SWAC and bash 12 hits, draw a pair of walks in crucial spots, get hit by 4 pitches, and hang 10 runs on you in the midweek. You aided him with an error at second base. You made 2 errors in the game. It's just not nearly good enough. It's not nearly clean enough. And I'm just talking about the errors. It's not an error when they hit a big chopper at John Pearson and he plays it off his body and doesn't get it out. It's not an error when they rip a ball off the wall in left center field. Curiel makes an incredible play to catch the ricochet, fired into the infield. Dardar makes the catch. Bethune-Cookman's running through a stop sign. Dardar's got a chance to throw him out, and he misfires to the bag by 8 feet, and the kid's safe. That's not an error. It's just not clean defense. It's not championship-level defense, and LSU doesn't play that or anything close to it. Offensively last night, LSU had its issues statistically, like you left 15 men on base. But as I've said many, many times, good offenses leave men on base. Bad offenses go up and down in order. If you're creating opportunities, more often than not, they'll start to cash in. And LSU scored 7 runs. LSU hit the ball hard at times. Brown launched a homer. He hit a line drive off the wall in right field that must have been 1,000 miles an hour off the bat. Aaron Beatty missed a homer to dead center field by 2 feet. Trackman sitting next to me had 409 on that. He also ripped a single into left. Derek Curiel had 2 RBI hits, one up the middle that was really nice, one to the left side of the infield, which was really nice. You saw some good things from the LSU offense, but it wasn't enough, and it wasn't enough because the defense and pitching staff let them down greatly. This is an LSU show, and our conversations are going to be about LSU. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Bethune-Cookman here. I will tell you, for those that didn't watch the game, if you think Bethune-Cookman and you just think SWAC baseball and you just think what you've watched from SWAC baseball over the years, this is not that. I've watched a lot of SWAC baseball. Now, the pitching had some, as Roger Cador calls it, trick pitchers. They were throwing some sidearm. They had one guy that was coming in and throwing sidearm half the time and over the top half the time. 82-mile-an-hour fastballs, 83-mile-an-hour fastballs, 62-mile-an-hour breaking balls. There were a couple of those. But more so, this was an offense for Bethune-Cookman that was ready to play. And it's an offense that has a lot of players from Venezuela and Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. And they've done a really good job at their campus in Daytona Beach, Florida, of going into Latin America and filling their baseball program. And that team could play. They could make plays in the infield. They could run down balls in the outfield. And they could hit. And they did hit against the bottom of LSU's pitching staff. I'm going to get into some resume stuff down the line. I've got a story up right now if you want to get into that at louisianasports.net. It's not the time to do resume stuff right now. It's April the 8th. As I wrote, you've got 18 conference games left in the regular season, plus at least one in Hoover. That's 19 league games you're guaranteed. You have 4 midweek games left. The 19 are going to dwarf the 4 the rest of the way. It's a Bethune-Cookman team that's going to be in the tournament, and it's a functional baseball team. It's also a team that LSU should go into Alex Box Stadium with a 2-0 lead, with a 4-3 lead, with a lead, and hold it. And this pitching staff couldn't do it. And that's super bumming. Now, when you go to Oxford on Friday, Casey Evans will be ready. And Zach Callen will be ready. Devin Sheard will be ready. They'll be ready. But in these midweek games, you continue to trot out pitcher after pitcher after pitcher after pitcher after pitcher. Nobody on LSU's team got 8 outs yesterday. You used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pitchers to get through 9 innings, and you didn't have enough stuff. You got crushed. They bashed baseballs all over the yard all night, and it's really, really disappointing for LSU to come off an emotional high in Knoxville, come home to Baton Rouge against a team you should beat, and lay an egg with the pitching staff. It's disappointing. The offense continues to be a bright spot. They've got to fix pitching, especially the depth. The front line is not where it needs to be, not really all that close, but you can see signs of it. The back end has got to do a ton of a better job than that. Zion Theophilus is okay. 2 innings, gave it to homer. Garcia was good for a stretch. 2 1/3. Paz had a good first inning, awful second inning. Just not enough. Not enough depth, not enough talent, and not enough production. And that's a tough pill to swallow as you lose to a team with an RPI in the 170s, and that's just not going to do any services. LSU now needs to get into the business of winning baseball games so that their metrics can drastically improve, because you still got room to do that, and we'll talk about it probably on tomorrow's show. But that was a bad loss last night, no matter what you think or say. You may say, well, it's a decent RPI loss. They're going to win a lot of games. Their strength of schedule is so bad, their RPI is going to be terrible. This will be a saddling quad 4 home loss for LSU, and it pairs with Sacramento State twice. It pairs with Northeastern. Pairs with McNeese. Not good at all from LSU on the diamond. Last night, they'll get to practice today. They'll hit the road for Oxford tomorrow, and it'll be LSU and Ole Miss for 3-game stats starting up on Saturday. Very likely, Casey Evans versus Hunter Elliott in that one, too. Really good pitchers for their respective programs. So that's our opening drive. When we come back, Lane Kiffin talked about his wide receivers, and maybe go do some digging about his Ole Miss guys. We'll talk about that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at fabrychevrolet.com. That's fabrychevrolet.com. Look, summer's coming. Weather's going to warm up. Might want to be taking your family on a road trip. If you feel like you might need a new car to do that, well, this is the perfect place to call, the perfect place to visit up in St. Francisville, because they've got a full inventory that you can find online at fabrychevrolet.com. Look at those Silverados up to $11,000 off MRP. Look at those Sierras, $13,000 up off MSRP. We like those deals. We like Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Go see them on Highway 61 in St. Francisville or online at fabrychevrolet.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor of the court, but your home too.
Parish Construction and Roofing. ParishBuilt.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Stay in the game from LouisianaSports.net. Text LSN to 225-499-1045 for breaking news, instant updates on LSU, the SEC, and everything happening across the world in sports.
We're brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools, built by Renaissance.com, built by Renaissance.com. Looking to get into that pool of your dreams? It's still time. It's just April. You got plenty of time to get that pool, and you can have it for late summer. If you contact my guy, Joey Blanchard, contact him via text. I'll give you his cell phone number every single week. It's 225-252-7745. That's 225-252-7745. Say, hey, I'm interested in the pool. Where do we start? And maybe you've got an exact idea of what you're looking for in a swimming pool, and Joey's happy to make that a reality for you. He can design it all to scale right there, that incredible software that they have, and he'll be there every step of the way until it's finished. Maybe you have no idea what kind of pool you want or what new types of pools they're building, and you just like to talk about that before you get into the design process. Joey is happy to do that too. And when you start that process with Renaissance Homes and Pools, you just work with Joey the rest of the way. He's there for the consultation, there for the design, there for the dig, there for the fill, there for the finish. That's the beauty of working with a local company. You know that you're working with someone who cares, and it's going to be there. And that's what Joey promises you as the owner at Renaissance Homes and Pools. You can also contact him for an outdoor kitchen, maybe your forever home. If you want to build that, get another bid on it. Renaissance Homes and Pools. High school ranks and got 3, and all of a sudden there's like 16 guys out there, and nobody has really proven himself at LSU. In fact, no one has. Very few have proven themselves at the college level, at the Power 5 level. So the question is, you bring all these guys in, and they're all running these drills. Well, you can't line up 15 wide receivers. You're going to have to pare that number down for the guys that make an impact. And you would look at LSU, and you're not really certain they have a number one true wide receiver on this team. And Lane Kiffin approached kind of why that may be.
I mean, there's not a day now that I don't try to think of different ways of doing things and realize, okay, the changing landscape of everything. And again, I don't get up here and complain about it. This is what it is. Maybe times I get asked and I say, this is what I think it should be, or these are the problems that are coming. But instead of continuing to complain about it, this is what it is, and how do we make the best rosters around it? And, with that group, our recipe, right or wrong, hasn't been to go way top heavy, to try to balance the room a little bit deeper, as opposed to throwing all your money at one or two of the high-priced guys, in the evaluation period. Let those guys go other places and focus more on trying to get more balance, because you got to figure it out somehow, which way you're going to do it, because there's only so much. and the system worked for us before, and hopefully does it again.
So we'll talk about the last part in a second, but back to the middle piece to that, where we could have gone more high price, could have got the top end guy. Cam Coleman's going to come to mind for everybody as a guy that was in the portal and you could pull in. There was a former 5-star recruit, a potential first-round pick that could be a complete game changer. And I'm confident that LSU had some cash to throw at him because they had cash to throw at 40-plus guys, so probably had the cash to do that. Instead, maybe not go all in on Cam Coleman. He's a great player, and then what do I have behind it? Maybe you bring in 8 guys you feel similarly about, 6 guys you feel similarly about. Let them compete to see who the best man is. So I wanted to look back at Ole Miss's passing statistics to see how well they shared the wealth with new faces, with a lot of different wide receivers, like how they do it. In this past year, 2025, Ole Miss played in 15 games. Harrison Wallace was their leading receiver at 934 yards and 4 touchdowns. For better context, he averaged 62 yards per game. Dejon Stripling averaged only 12 yards less of that at 54 yards per game. Then you got Deuce Alexander, who was at 45 yards per game. Caden Lee was at 42 yards per game. Daquan Wright was right there at 42 yards per game as well. So you had 5 pass catchers between 62 yards per game and 42 yards per game, a swing of like 20 yards, which is basically 2 catches. You had 2 guys over 50 catches. You had 4 guys over 44 catches. You did a good job at Ole Miss of diversifying that room. Now go back to 2024, and that's when Trey Harris was clearly their number one guy. He was a dog. He was the number one guy. I don't think they overspent for him because they got him from Tech. But he became the star, and he only played in 8 games, but still went over 1,000 yards with 7 touchdowns. It should be noted that Jordan Watkins finished the season with 4 more games with 906 in terms of yards. That means they were separated by 124 yards, and Watkins had more touchdowns at 9. They had another receiver in Caden Lee who went for 875 yards. You look at Juice Wells, you're talking about 553 yards and 6 touchdowns. Like, they diversified this thing very, very well in 2024, even though they lost the late games to Kentucky and Florida. Back 2023, a team that would have qualified for the playoffs if it was a 12-team playoff. You look at the receiving. Trey Harris was on that team, played the same amount of games as everybody. He averaged 18 yards a catch. He averaged 82 yards a game, 8 touchdowns, was clearly the number one guy. But Dayton Wade had more catches. He had 55 to Trey Harris's 44. The yardage was close. You're talking about 830 to 985. That's 155 yards difference. That's pretty close. And then Jordan Watkins was right there, and he had 741 yards. He had 53 catches. The top 3 pass catchers on that team in 2023 for Lane Kiffin had 55 catches, 54 catches, 53 catches. Like, that says a lot. That is not keying in. That is sharing the wealth. Back in 2022, Kiffin finally kind of got things rolling. Jackson Dart was out there throwing for nearly 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. You had Malik Heath, who led the team in catches and yards. But then you had Jonathan Mingo, who tied that league for touchdowns, had more yards per catch on his catches. And then you had Jordan Watkins at 40 catches for 450 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's, say, a 61-yard long. And Watkins had 34 yards per game. So in a span of 3 guys, like, you had a real rotation there at wide receiver. And I expect LSU to look very similar to that this coming fall. I don't see, looking out there, a true bona fide number one. If you made me sit here and guess, okay, hey, Hunt, one of these guys is going for 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. He's clearly going to be number one. First team all-league. Might get some Biletnikoff love. Like, this is the guy. I would say Jace Brown, the Kansas State transfer. If you told me Jackson Harris, I wouldn't back off of it. If you told me Trey Wilson from Florida, the former 5-star, now that he's healthy, I wouldn't go crazy on that. But the more likely scenario is they don't have somebody who goes for 12, 13, 14, 1,700 yards and 20 touchdowns. The more likelihood is that they're bunched up like these Ole Miss guys, all somewhere between 850 and 550. They're all in that nucleus. They make you pay attention to everybody. You can't key on one guy. Can't send a double team to take a guy away. You got to play LSU straight up because you had to play Ole Miss straight up. And when you go with that tempo and you go very fast and you put the defense on its heels, well, then all of a sudden, you know what you're doing. They don't know what they're doing, and you've got guys who can hurt them with a jump ball as well. So I liked that quote. I liked how it tied back to LSU. I had the LSU stat sheet from this year pulled out, and I just threw it in the trash. I don't want to talk about that. It's the worst passing offense I've seen. But this one will be better because they've got playmakers, they've got depth, they've got guys who averaged a lot of yards per catch at lower levels, and I think they're going to be a really good offensive passing game, hoping that Sam Leavitt comes back from the screws taken out yesterday or Sunday or whatever it was and is ready to go for fall camp because I'm excited about this wide receiver group. The two guys that are kind of rising to the cream at this point are Jackson Harris and Jace Brown, as I mentioned. We've seen a little bit more of Winnie Watkins lately. He made a nice catch over the weekend. But there's one football. And there's a personality trait that goes with those wide receivers where they want the wall, they want the touchdowns, they want the glory, they want to do the dancing. I get it. It's wide receivers. Jeremy Hill and I sat here and talked about it for a year. Wide receivers are a different cat. But you lost all yours. You had to refill the stocks. And looks like you've done a pretty good job of that. And Lane Kiffin feels good about their evaluation in that spot as well. So that's a look at LSU football. All of our LSU football content all year long you can find at Hunt on LSU. That's Hunt on LSU. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. It is What If Wednesday.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Love telling you about my friends at Ochsner, but a lot of times the stuff I talk about is not the most fun thing to discuss. It's not fun talking about making sure you're going to your primary care visits, but you need to, and Ochsner knows that. It's not fun if you need urgent care. You've got lacerations, you've got cough, cold, sore throat, maybe even earache, or got moderate stomach aches. That sounds like what you're going through. Go to the urgent care. Let them check you out. And if you've got a life-threatening situation, obviously you're going to want to go to emergency care. Severe chest pain, severe bleeding, obviously come to mind, loss of consciousness, severe allergic reaction. These are things that can help save your life. And we so appreciate Ochsner for bringing those every single week. Look, call them at 1-800-231-5257. That's 1-800-231-5257. That is Ochsner.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Remind you about Gotro's Outdoor Power. Gotro's Outdoor Power. It is officially springtime. It is officially growing season. It is officially time for you to take care of that grass. If you need a zero-turn mower, whether it's your first or the old one's just not getting it done anymore, Gotro's Outdoor Power is where you need to be. Family-owned and operated for 22 years. Baton Rouge location, on Airline Gonzales location as well. Got on-site financing. 0% financing is available. And I told you about this yesterday. Been telling you about it as well. They've got their own extended warranty. Gotro's is the warrantor. So if you go and buy that zero-turn Hustler mower from the folks at Gotro's Outdoor Power, you can add 2 years or 200 hours to the manufacturer's warranty with the folks at Gotro's Outdoor Power. They will guarantee that. Look, that's a piece of machinery, and it can be pricey. So if you want to make sure that it's under warranty, go with the local company that's here to help you with that. That's Gotro's Outdoor Power. Then get you behind the wheel of a new zero-turn for $100. So why not take advantage of that? Go see them on Airline in Baton Rouge or, of course, in Gonzales. Gotro's Outdoor Power. They're online at GoTrosOnline.com. In about 30 minutes, we'll talk to Koki Riley from The Advocate. He was at the box last night as LSU dropped game to Bethune-Cookman. I got a feeling y'all are going to hit me with some questions about that coming up here in this segment. We'll talk some Saints football as well as Brian Brzez's option was picked up, so stick with us. But right now, it's What If Wednesday.
Time, space, reality. It's more than a linear path. Where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities. Follow me and ponder the question. What if?
All right, so what if for midweek games, LSU only call fastballs down the middle? Does that change anything?
Yeah, they'd get smashed. You can't just throw fastballs down the middle. I appreciate the question, and there are times where I would like the pitcher to just throw a fastball down the middle. Because, I mean, LSU in 2 instances last night had a 3-0 count on the mound and just threw a pitch that was completely non-competitive. And you know, in that instance, they're trying to throw a fastball down the middle and just can't do it. And that's the very, very frustrating thing. It's something that I just don't think is going to get fixed. You can count on Kason Evans way more often than not to throw to the plate. He didn't against Tennessee, against Vanderbilt, but more often than not he will. Schmidt's throwing it over the plate. Cowan definitely does. Sheeran's been okay in that department. There may be some other guys that you go to, like Dax Dothy, who is primed to throw more strikes. Connor Benj is primed to throw more strikes. But yeah, if you just throw in the one down and not throwing a single breaking ball the whole game, college hitters will probably make you pay for that.
Yeah, you're probably going to get cooked. So what if we play the same lineup this weekend as we did last night? We seem to improve a lot. Granted, the middle errors with loaded bases and no outs needs to be drilled so it stops happening.
I would push back on that being mental errors from LSU. Now, Jay Johnson did say that they lost the strike zone offensively. But look, you got to a 2-strike count, and a kid executed 3 straight good off-speed pitches. He threw a great straight changeup to Steven Milam, threw a great straight changeup to Jake Brown, and then he spun a breaking ball 3-2 to John Pearson, who swung over the top of it. So I have a hard time saying that you mentally gaffed that one. As far as the lineup for this weekend, you're facing Hunter Elliott in game 1. Hunter Elliott is a left-hander. He's a veteran. He's got a 3/4 arm slot. He loves to ride the fastball up in the zone, loves to spin breaking balls that sweep a lot. And that may not be the best matchup ever for Mason Braun, who's 3 years younger and hits from the left side of the plate. You might need to go with Cerna, with Aaron Beatty, with Yaman. I'm not ready to throw Zach York out there, especially against a tough left-hander like Elliott. So I don't think you'll see the exact same lineup. I think you might see a change at first base depending on Cerna, Aaron Beatty, and who he wants to catch, and then what Yaman can do as well. But I don't think you'll see the same lineup.
All right, so what if LSU loses 1 to 2 more midweek games? Does this change the math of how many games or how many SEC games they have to win to host a regional or get to the NCAA tournament?
Probably. I wrote about this at LouisianaSports.net. If you're curious, it's not an intensive piece. In May, I'm going to go in and dive into the RPIs and go nuts, whether it's to try to get in the tournament, whether it's try to get on the host site, whether it's try to get a top 8, wherever LSU is, assuming they don't lose 9 games in a row, starting now.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going to be diving into the nitty-gritty of it every 2-3 days, but not this time. I just said this time you have a minimum of 19 games in SEC play. You got 18 regular season and at least 1 in Hoover. You got 4 midweek games. So the conference games are far going to outweigh the midweek games. But you have to win against good teams. That's what you have to do in conference. So, no, they don't need to lose anymore. You don't need to lose to Northwestern State. You just don't. So they need to get it in gear. They need to win those games, and they need to take care of business on the weekend as well. You're getting to a point where you've lost enough games to where they all matter to a certain extent.
Oh, that's kind of scary. That is kind of scary. So what if you could play the par 3 course at Augusta, or you could single seat reserve anywhere on the course for Sunday?
I would play the par 3 course. I would love many places on that golf course. I would love to watch 12 on Sunday. I would love to watch 16 on Sunday. I'd certainly like to watch 18 on Sunday.
Okay.
A lot of great holes in that course, a lot of memories that have been made all over the place, and to see the winner come through and do something crazy would be awesome. But I want the clubs, I want the balls, I want the caddies, I want the par 3 course. I want to go play. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
I can theoretically buy a ticket from now till eternity to go sit at the Masters.
You could.
It will cost me significantly if I don't win the lottery, but I can do that. I can't play the par 3 course unless somebody invites me to do it. So that's going to be the deal.
So it's invite only.
Oh, yeah.
So does it have to be like somebody that already won, or is there any golfer that's already there?
Members.
Okay. Oh, members of the course.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. It's a little bit more exclusive. Of course.
Okay. Very exclusive. I don't quite qualify.
All right. So what if you got $20 to spend at the Augusta concession stand? I'm mad. We did this. I had it up yesterday.
I got the concession stand up here.
Okay, let me know. I know I want a beer.
Well, that's happening.
I'm about to say we need a beer.
I'd like to get the day started with some breakfast, so we're gonna go with the breakfast sandwich. That's $3.
Okay.
So we got 17 to play with here for the rest of the day. I have to go immediately to domestic beer. That's 6. So I've spent 9. I've got $11. I'm getting a second beer.
All right.
So we're on that. That's
chicken salad sandwich?
So we're up to $15 there. We're up to $15 with 2 beers, my breakfast sandwich. I got $5 to play with here.
All right.
We're gonna go with a Georgia Peace ice cream sandwich.
Okay.
And then I can get.
So that's $3 or $2?
I can get that's $3.
Okay.
So that's now $12 on beer, up to $15 with the breakfast sandwich, and $3 with Georgia. So I have $2 left. Give me some chips. Okay. Middle of the day.
Middle of the day. You know, it's funny you said $12 for 2 beers, and I'm thinking that's not even one at the Superdome. I can't wrap my head around that. But I definitely have to go off rip. Got to get 2 beers. You got to have one, drink quick. Second one I'm sipping on. And then I know there was a chicken salad sandwich. Got to get the chicken salad sandwich.
They've got the famous pimento cheese sandwich that they're going to go to. Egg salad is what they're famous for.
Oh, egg salad?
But
no.
They got a Masters Club if you want that. Oh, they do have a chicken salad on honey wheat if you want that.
Yeah, give me that.
So you've bought 2 beers. That's 12. You bought a chicken salad. You're up to $15. You got $5 to play with.
$5 left. All right. What exactly is $5? Get me out of here.
You got to work to spend exactly $5. Exact, you can't.
Okay.
You can get any sort of snack where you got cookies, candy bars, ice cream sandwiches.
I heard about them candy bars.
They got a new candy bar this year.
So give me a candy bar. Give me a candy bar.
That's $2.25.
$2.25.
So you can get another one if you want, or you can go with some cheese straws or a cookie.
You know what? I'm gonna get another one. I'm not gonna eat it just to have it. Like I'm gonna keep that one. Souvenir. Yes.
Put it at your desk.
Keep it. It's a Masters candy bar. I'm keeping that one. Yes, that's what we're doing. Because you can't have your phone out there.
I went breakfast sandwich, not lunch sandwich. We're gonna drink our beer calories for lunch, and then we'll get a sugar kick in the afternoon with my ice cream sandwich when we need it.
It depends on the weather, though. I think we should have prefaced that the weather is usually pretty nice out there.
The weather this week's gonna be warm and nice.
Okay, so if it's really nice out there, I can probably skip the breakfast. If it's kind of hot, I might need a little something on my stomach. But if it's feeling good, I can skip that drinking beers.
The good news is, if I ever go back to the Masters, I'm bringing more than $20. So I won't have to.
Light flex?
I won't have to think.
Light
I won't
flex?
have to think. Look, I don't have much. I can't retire today, but I do have more than 20.
You're right.
I can splurge for more than 20. So we'll make sure that's available if and when I go back.
Especially if you're buying your own master tickets, you gotta need a little bit more than 20 on your pocket.
Yeah. You win the lottery. I don't think they're that expensive. You win the lottery. When you get to the secondhand market, it gets a little bit dicey.
Some scalpers in the parking lot. Can't do it. Can't do it.
All right, that's it for What If Wednesday here on this Wednesday. Still got a lot to do here on the show. Koki Riley will be here in 19 minutes. He was at the box last night covering baseball. Just wanted to ask him what he saw up in Knoxville from this team, what he saw last night. Talked to Jay Johnson last night, Derek Curiel as well, and then what's to come this weekend in Oxford, Mississippi. The Saints have made a decision on Brian Brzez's option, and I see baseball power rankings coming your way. I spent a good amount of time on those this morning, so we'll get into to some of that at 2:30. So still lots and lots to do. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. You can find them at builtbyrenaissance.com. That's builtbyrenaissance.com. When we come back, I'm going to take $100 of imaginary money, and we're going to bet the Masters. I'll tell you how it goes next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Speaking of Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, swingeasygcbr.com. You may not get invited to play at the real course. You can play it on the simulator, though, over at Swing Easy Golf Club. It's a lot of fun. I choose to play that course a lot of times. I've also teed it up over there at Pebble. Y'all probably saw me hit 600 shots on number 7 at Pebble. But you don't have to play a course. You can just work on your game at the driving range session as well. Just turn that on. You get the TrackMan data. You can see the trajectory of your ball. You can see where you make impact on the club face. You can see your carry distance as well. Ball speed coming off the club face. Very useful if you're a scratch player or if you're just a beginner trying to see how consistent you can be. So if you're looking to work on your game, no matter your skill level, go over to Swing Easy Golf Club and do it there. It's on Segan at Perkins, swingeasygcbr.com, Swing Easy Golf Club here in Baton Rouge.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email LockeMeredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
I'm about to tell you how to get super rich by betting on the Masters. In more practical financial terms, let me tell you about First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust started up in 1910. You're talking about 116 years ago, and they are still rocking and rolling. Have expanded to 25 locations across Southeast Louisiana. So no matter where you are in Southeast Louisiana, there is a First American Bank and Trust very, very near to you. They're local. So the decisions that they make on your commercial loan, on your personal loan, are local. The people that you work with at the bank, they're local. They're at the Little League ball field with you. They're at church on Sunday. Their kids are in your kids' class. That's the feel you're looking for a bank. When I say community bank, you might think, well, probably pretty small. I'm looking for more resources than that. 25 locations, they got you covered. First American Bank and Trust are online at FABT.com. That's FABT.com. First American Bank and Trust. All right, I'm very, very excited for the Masters. Obviously, it'll start up tomorrow morning. Looks like it's going to be incredible weather there at Augusta. Georgia Scott Rabelais there for the Advocate. Going to try to catch him later on this week from Augusta. It's a little bit low on obvious storylines. The tournament will produce them as it develops, but it's been Rory with the career Grand Slam for the last few years. That's obviously in the rearview mirror. Scottie Scheffler was on an all-time heater 2 years ago going into Augusta. Felt like the prohibitive favorite to get his second green jacket. He did. The guys from LIV coming in while they had just left for LIV, that was a storyline. That's no longer there. Tiger and Phil are not there for the first time since the early 90s. There's not an obvious storyline to pick out, but you can create them if you go ahead and put wagers down. So I do this every golf major. I take $100, break it up, make it into a few bets, and see if we can't make some money. I will tell you this. These bets have a long and consistent history of being nowhere close to being right. Nowhere close. But that doesn't mean I can't give you more. And I got some reasons for them, so we'll see. We'll start with a missed cut bet. Missed cut. Who's going to go out there, stink it up? Keep in mind, the Masters is a limited field. It's invitation. You got to qualify through a lot of different avenues. So the guys that miss the cut are generally the amateurs and the really old guys who won the Masters in 1987. Okay? So I've got one to miss the cut who is a former champion but is not way past his prime. But I don't think he cares about golf anymore. So I'm taking Dustin Johnson to miss the cut. Plus 104 is the number there. Bet 20 on it, win 20 on it. This is the lowest play here. Just a little feed the fishes type deal. The rest of them trying to actually get a hit out of. But I don't think Dustin Johnson gives a rip about golf, and certainly don't think he's going to make the cut. So I'll take Dustin Johnson, miss the cut, plus 104. All right, now into the real bets that are have some actual odds stacked to them. You can take groups of 3 golfers to make the top 10. That's a very difficult thing to peg, 3 guys in the top 10. But I've got 3 guys who have had some success on this course, who are playing some reasonably good golf, who I think could all finish in the top 10. It would be plus 1,500 if they did. Xander Schauffele has a wonderful game for Augusta National. He's very capable of hitting a draw off the tee. He's very capable of hitting really good iron shots high in the air. He is a magnificent putter. He's had some success at Augusta, had one slip through his fingertips when he hit it in the water on 16 on Sunday. Good player. Ludwig Gobert has every ability to play at Augusta. He hits at a country mile. His swing is gorgeous. He never seems to be too aggressive, never seems to be out of control always seems to be in the right frame of mind and played okay at the Masters last year. So give me Ludwig as well. And then Justin Rose has a tremendously good history at Augusta, just never won. He's lost in 2 playoffs and has been knocking on the door for a lot of years. He's played some good golf the last 2-3 years. He was obviously the runner-up to Rory McIlroy last year. Give me Xander Schauffele, Ludwig Oberg, and Justin Rose, all to top 10 plus 1,500. That's $50 bet here to win $750 on that one. I like it. Harris English. He's a guy from Georgia, knows that course very well. Not his first time around the track. Excellent, excellent iron player as well. I like Harris English to potentially post a top 10 this week as well. He's plus 650 to do so. That would be $20 to win $130. I like that pick as well. So give me Harris English to top 10. And I got one winner. Now, this is one that 5 weeks ago would have been pretty off the radar. It's not really now. I think a lot of people are kind of catching up because he's playing such amazing golf. But I like 2 things about this guy. It's not his first time there. He's ridiculous with his iron play and his putting. And he's left-handed. Akshay Bhatia has the real game to go out there and make a run at Augusta. He is my long shot pick to win the golf tournament. We got Akshay Bhatia to win. That is plus 6,500. So a simple $10 bet here is going to cash you out $650. Lefties have had a ton of success at Augusta over the years. Of course, Phil Mickelson has his 3 green jackets. Bubba Watson has 2 green jackets. Of course, you saw the unlikely scenario where Mike Weir won a Masters from the left side. It's their ability to hit cuts on those right to left holes. Most pros hit cuts, and right-handers have to hit draws. I like Akshay to cut it around that place, to hit great iron shots, potentially win long shots. So my bets: DJ to miss the cut, $20 to win 20. Xander, Ludwig, Justin Rose, all to top 10 plus 1,500, 50 to win $750. Harris English, top 10 plus 650, $20 to win $130. And Akshay Bhatia plus 6,500 to win. That is a $650 winnings on a $10 bet. So that's $100 chopped up with the ability to get a hit. I'm sure they had some bets on live at lunch today.
No, listen. You actually, I like this, but as a super casual person, super casual in golf, I have 2 questions for you.
Yes.
Question number 1, and put it in like a context type of form. How hard is it to pick a winner of the Masters? Is it like picking the winner of the NCAA tournament?
It's
is that
not
harder?
that hard.
Okay, it's not that hard.
It's similar to the NCAA tournament. There are 12 teams that can win the NCAA tournament. There are
maybe like 12 guys.
There are
for real?
15 guys that can win the Masters.
Okay.
The Masters has a very limited field.
Okay.
And it's got amateurs and old guys that have no chance. So you can take like 25 guys and kick them out. And then you've got the other guys who are not major championship caliber players at this point. You kind of pare it down. You look at the guys that have won recently. It's Scotty Scheffler. It's John Rahm. It's Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, you have to go back kind of to Danny Willett to find a guy completely off the radar. And Jordan Spieth had to throw up all over himself to win that. Tiger won it because he knows what he's doing around there. It's generally speaking, guys you know.
The cream of the crop guys.
Akshay Bhatia does not fit into that.
Okay.
He is a top 15 player in the world at this point, but he's never contended in a major. So my pick to win this week is none of those.
Okay.
My pick to win this week is not going to be popular.
Ooh.
It's not going to be someone you would think I would pick because of what he's currently doing.
Okay.
But I just think he's playing well and he knows the course and he's won. I think Patrick Reed has a great chance to win the golf tournament this week.
Okay.
I don't like Patrick Reed. I am thrilled he's leaving LIV because it's stupid. But he hits draws. He hits good iron shots. He's a good iron player. He is phenomenal around the greens at chipping. And he doesn't really care that nobody likes him.
Okay.
Like,
you
whatever.
need that.
Don't care. I've already won this tournament. I can win it again. And here I come. And so it's not a front runner pick. Most people are going to pick Rahm, Rory, Scheffler. Those will be the 3 most selected players. Xander will be in that company as well. Give me the winner to be Patrick Reed as my actual pick. Your numbers aren't going to be as good as Akshay. I wanted to go with a win pick that paid a little bit more for the odds. But my actual pick to win the golf tournament, I think, is Patrick Reed.
All right, and my last question would be, Batia, you said he's left-handed. Why is that so crucial that he's left-handed?
There's a lot of the holes at Augusta go right to left, and a lefty hits that with a cut, and a right-hander has to hit that with a draw. And a cut is more preferable to most of the guys out there. It's a higher shot. It's a softer shot. It's what they want to hit. And so he does that, and I think he's got a good chance to make some noise this weekend. I'll pull for him. He's a great guy to pull for, and he's played great golf this year. He's won already on tour. So that's a look at the Masters in a nutshell. Won't do any more of that. Now we're going to get back into the local angles of things. Koki Riley talking LSU baseball after SportsCenter. Come back with us.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Closet space, not something I ever thought about. I've told you all this story before. Bought a house, loved the location, liked the price point, and bought it. I didn't think too much about the closet space. Well, then the girlfriend, fiance, now wife moves in and goes, this is not going to work. The first call would have been to David Duvall, One Bath and Closets, to customize our closets. However, we knew baby number 2 was going to be on the way. We were going to need more room anyway. We didn't have enough bedrooms. So we moved instead of calling One Bath. You don't have to move. You might have locked your interest rate in 5 years ago and you love it. You're not going anywhere, but these closets are not getting done. Way too much clutter. Get David in to either put in a brand new closet or to use your space more efficiently and clear out all of that mess that you've got to fight through in your closets. OneBathAndClosets.com. David's been at it for 40 years. Give him a call, OneBathAndClosets.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Pistons set to welcome back point guard Cade Cunningham. He's expected to return from a collapsed left lung tonight against the Bucks. He missed the last 11 games with the injury. Detroit's already clinched home field advantage in the East throughout the NBA playoffs. Amid the ongoing NBA investigation into the dispute between the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo regarding his injury status, the two-time
all wounds. Yeah. You know what I mean? I will say this. Don't be surprised if Giannis plays this week. Don't be surprised if Giannis plays really, really, really soon.
Vincent Goodwill on Unsportsmanlike. If Antetokounmpo does not sign an extension in October, he could become a free agent next summer, or Milwaukee could trade him. The Spurs ruled out injured center Victor Wembanyama and point guard Stephon Castle tonight against the Blazers, 9:30 Eastern, ESPN. Wemby needs to play at least 20 minutes in one more regular season game to be award eligible per league rules.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen coming up Thursday with 2 weeks before the NFL Draft. I'll give you my top 3 storylines I'm most paying attention to. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Hour 2, Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Officially half the work week in the rearview mirror. Working towards the weekend now. Appreciate you hanging out with us. SEC Baseball Power Rankings coming your way at 2:30. Some Saints news coming up in 15 minutes that we will get to then. But for right now, let's talk some LSU baseball. We do it with the Advocate beat writer Koki Riley, who's with us on Wednesdays. Koki, how are you?
Doing pretty well. How's it going?
It's going all right. It was going a little bit better before the 7th inning yesterday. Let's go back to Knoxville before we start talking about Bethune-Cookman. That was a wild weekend on Friday and on Sunday. What was your big takeaway from LSU's 2 out of 3 win over the Volunteers?
This team just keeps on hitting, or at least during not conference play, at least they keep on hitting bad pitching and just sort of taking advantage of Tennessee's ultimate weakness, which is the bullpen. It's been noted a lot that, these comebacks aren't sustainable, but at the same time, I think kind of a theme between a lot of these big Sunday performances is just getting to the back end of these SEC bullpens and just sort of hammering them. And that's kind of become a strength for this team, whether they're behind or, I guess in the case of the Vanderbilt game, ahead. So it's just something just to sort of keep an eye on as we go deeper into these series and deeper into this conference slate.
You were there on Sunday. Give me kind of a vibe check with the crowd, with Jay Johnson getting ejected, with the craziness at the end of the game. I'm sure you did some interviews afterward. Like, what was that like?
It was definitely chaotic and crazy. The crowd itself wasn't that much, honestly. The Sunday crowd was pretty muted. There weren't a ton of people there. It was definitely the weakest of the 3. Friday and Saturday, there were a lot of people, but the environment wasn't that crazy. It was not Saturday night at the box or Friday night at the box. So I just don't think it was that intimidating of an environment, if I'm being honest with you. I think this weekend might actually be more. We'll see. The fans are still kind of on top of you there at Tennessee, but given the struggles of that team and how mad people are at Josh Elander, there's sort of a muted response to what that team's doing right now from those Tennessee fans.
All right, let's talk about first base. Obviously, that's been a hot button issue. Give me your overall thoughts. I know you know the characters and the situation. Like, what do you think they do at first?
I think that Mason Braun's got a decent case to at least start against right-hand pitching. I just think that he can give you more offensively. He's doing a much better job of generating the quality at bats on a consistent basis. He doesn't give you the potential and the power potential that Zach Gorka gives you, but he's been a better contact hitter this year on the whole, I'd say. I think that he's kind of the guy you want to see against, I guess, most righties. If there's a lefty in the game, I wouldn't mind it if Eddie Yemen's the first baseman then. I think he's done a similar thing here. Now, I think we've gotten enough of the sample size of seeing him play to where I kind of want to see him get more quality, more consistent at-bats, because the quality of the at-bats has been really good. He doesn't really swing at bad pitches. He's not afraid to take a walk. He's hit the ball hard a few times. He does a good job of playing within Jay's approach on offense. And yeah, like, you're losing some ceiling if you're playing Yemen and Braun in there instead of Zach York and the power that he can bring you and just that middle order presence. But given the way York's playing, like, he's not really giving you anything right now. And I know Yemen and Braun aren't at least in theory the defenders that York was supposed to be, but you're gonna have to sacrifice something in order to get something back, because they're not getting anything from York right now. That's good. So I think you're gonna get at least something good if you play a Yemen Braun platoon, because at least that's what I would do. And I think that's what they could do, especially if Cerna's back in the lineup this weekend.
One more on York, and this is impossible to know, but I'm just your thoughts. How much of this do you think is he's overmatched in the SEC, and how much of it is it started going bad and he didn't know how to handle it and it snowballed and now it's just awful?
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I talked to one scout who was kind of skeptical over how he was going to translate to the SEC in general, and that's someone who has kind of been in and around Arizona and seen him play at Grand Canyon a good bit. So there's that, and like, that was definitely in my head. And actually just seeing him just like really struggle against this level of competition, if I'm being quite honest. Yeah. Like, it just feels like he's overmatched a little bit when you're watching the games. The non-conference struggles, I think, is more of the second part of your question, which is like the mental stuff. And he was pretty open about talking about how much that's really, affected him. And he maybe even hinted towards, the fans being tough on him, that being in terms of that just sort of weighing on him as well. So I think it's both, honestly. I lean more towards the ability than the mental side, just because of some of the things I've seen and heard from other people who know the game. But at the same time, like, there's definitely a mental aspect to this thing, especially with the defense. I think the defense is where you really see the mental stuff really start to screw with him, because when he came here, he was billed to be a pretty solid defensive first baseman, given the fact that he had good hands. He seemed like a very coordinated kid. One scout thought he was a better athlete than Jared Jones at first base, which I could kind of see in some ways, because he's pretty light on his feet for a guy that big, while Jones was a little more, I guess, clunky of an athlete, I guess, around the bag at first base. Well, York was a lot more smoother and had better hands. And you've seen that in little spurts here and there, but then a ball goes under his legs, and then he drops a very, very routine throw. I don't really understand why that's happening, and to me, that has to be mental. Like, that's the best way I can explain it.
So now we've got 4 weeks in the rearview mirror, and Kason Evans has made 4 SEC starts, and 3 of them have been like, okay, and then one of them was brilliant. So, like, what do you think?
I thought he was pretty good in this Tennessee game. His first Tennessee start. I don't know about pretty, but he was pretty solid. Definitely good enough for them to win. That's a tough part to pitch in.
Yeah.
I don't think Tennessee's a good offense at all. Like, I want to be clear about that. And he still has some work to do. But he was kind of open to me after the game and talking about just some of the mechanical changes that he's been trying to go through in terms of, like, sometimes he's a little too, like, instead of standing all the way straight up and getting his chest out, and when he's in his delivery, sometimes, like, he can be a little hunched over, and that really kind of affects his mechanics. And I thought he was a little bit more upright in that start against Tennessee. So I don't know. I think generally, like, at his best, they have a pretty great Friday starter. Just like getting the consistency out of him has been an issue for them so far this season. And I don't know. Like, when he commands the ball, like, there's definitely the floor raises significantly, right? Because of just his stuff in general. I'm not saying he's going to strike out 15 guys every single time, but it's just tapping into that ceiling more consistently is kind of the thing with him because, it's these mechanical things. I mentioned the stuff with the back, but yeah, like that's huge. That and the tempo and just making sure that he's getting into a good rhythm and moving quickly. That's very, very important when it comes to just his style of pitching.
Game 3 starts have been a bit of a mess since Cooper Moore went down. They found a way to slug their way to a couple of wins, but what do you know about Cooper Moore's status and whether or not LSU could expect him back at some point?
Yeah, Jay said that he's throwing now, that he's on track to pitch not this weekend but next weekend, which none of that's a real surprise or really super super notable just because he's been saying that for the last week or two, and he's just the kid's just kind of on track that we thought. And I don't think he's going to be throwing like 5 inning starts once he goes 5-6 inning starts once he goes back. Like it's going to take some time after that to get him ramped up to where he's like a major starter for this team again. So I don't know, but like any Cooper Moore's just to have his arm as an option and available would help this team. So yeah, and like it's interesting with the pitching though, because it's true, like they need him and they could really use him right now. But I thought they pitched really well on Sundays. The defense let them down, and the defense has been one of the few consistent things with this team, and it's not been a good consistent thing. So, yeah. So that's just kind of where I'm at with the Cooper Moore situation.
Ole Miss this weekend in Oxford. Hunter Elliott's going to get the ball in game 1, we would imagine, from the left side, and it's a pretty salty bullpen at the beginning. Also a team offensively in Ole Miss that strikes out a ton. How do you like the matchup for LSU?
Yeah, I think the fact that Ole Miss strikes out a ton is a pretty good matchup for LSU, just in terms of the fact that they have a lot of swing and miss guys. William Schmidt, Case Nevins. Like the park is going to be a factor in this series, right? Ole Miss has got a pretty small park. This is going to be my first trip there, so I'm going to get to see it in person for the first time, so I'll have a better feel for it then. But yeah, like I think that from the pitching side, I mean, LSU's in a decent spot here. And then on the flip side, like this is going to be a real challenge for this offense because Ole Miss's pitching has been really good this year, and especially Hunter Elliott on the mound. So yeah, like I think we're looking at some low scoring games in this series, and it's going to be very different than last week's series. Tennessee was kind of Tennessee wasn't afraid to swing and miss either. It was just they swung at everything, and usually that ended up being weak contact, especially in that Sunday game. But I don't know. Like I just figure that it's going to be it's going to be a pretty interesting series because again, like this Ole Miss team has got the pitching that this LSU team hasn't really seen a whole ton so far this season.
Enjoy Oxford. We'll talk next week.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Koki Riley with the Advocates, covering the LSU baseball team all over the Southeastern Conference. He'll be there in Oxford. LSU comes home after that for Texas A&M and then on the road to Mississippi State. It's the next 2 road trips to the Magnolia State. I will be headed to Starkville for Mississippi State. I'll be doing my Friday show there from Two Brothers Smoked Meats in the Cotton District, and then I'll be there for all 3 games covering things for LouisianaSports.net. So I'm looking forward to seeing the stadium. A little apprehensive about how things might go in the stadium, but nonetheless, I will be there in 3 weeks from Two Brothers Smoked Meats. Koki sure will. And he's with us every single Wednesday, and we appreciate a little bit of his time. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. We will step aside when we come back. Saints made a decision on one of their former draft picks. What is it next?
The Hunt Palmer Show.
I'm telling you about Lifetime Roofing, lifetimeroofingla.com, lifetimeroofingla.com. They're actively hiring at Lifetime Roofing, so if you're looking for one of the only legitimate W-2 roofing companies in the entire state of Louisiana, got benefits, got a 401k, they're where you need to go. They've got an incredible team right here in Baton Rouge-based ownerships, got a great facility that's growing on College Drive, and would love to have you. So stop on by and see if it is a fit for you. If you're not looking for a job, but you're looking for a roof, well, they can do that too as well. And every single roof that they put on comes with a lifetime warranty, lifetime workmanship warranty, lifetime materials warranty, and that is backed by Certainteed, one of the most trusted and oldest names in building materials. They've been telling me to keep reminding y'all as the spring months are upon us. If you're looking for gutters, if you're looking for siding, if you're looking for windows, Lifetime Roofing can do it. Lifetime Roofing can do it. They're online at lifetimeroofingla.com. That's lifetimeroofingla.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. No, the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Renaissance Homes and Pools, built by Renaissance.com, built by Renaissance.com. You're looking to get into that pool you have always wanted. I got one phone number for you. It's Joey Blanchard's. He's the owner of Renaissance Homes and Pools. It's 225-252-7745. No matter what kind of pool you're looking for, I've got some friends that have got a little cocktail pool. It's perfect for them. If that's what you're looking for, awesome. If you want the big, bad pool that's resort style, that's got spots for the kids and spots for the adults to lay out and the whole meal deal, you can do that too. Just depends on what you're looking for. Joey and his team can design it all. You want to add an outdoor kitchen to it? Awesome. You want them to build your forever home in Renaissance Homes and Pools. They can do that as well. Reach out to Joey, 225-252-7745. Or check them out online, builtbyrenaissance.com. You can see pictures of their fantastic work and get that project started quickly so you can get into that pool as the summer months arrive here in South Louisiana. Builtbyrenaissance.com. All right, the Saints have reportedly decided to pick up the fifth-year option on Brian Brzee, of course, a first-round pick for New Orleans in the draft of 2023 out of Clemson. And it hasn't been a remarkable go for Bryan Bresee. He has not taken the league by storm. He's not a Pro Bowler. And so I think there was a question whether or not you would pick up this fifth-year option. But as I look at this and kind of weigh everything, I'll first start with games played. He played in 17 his rookie year, 17 his second year, and 15, all 15 as a starter last year. That is excellent durability from a player in the middle of your defensive line. He has been healthy. He is 24 years old, so not one of these old rookies, not one of these COVID signs. Nope, he's right there where he should be on track. He'll play his age 25 season this year. Look at that production. As a rookie, 4.5 sacks, 7.5 sacks for Bryan Bresee in his second year. At that point, you're looking at a guy who had 12 career sacks in 2 seasons. That's really, really, really productive from the interior of a defense, especially when you consider he had only started 11 games to amass those 12 sacks. Last year, not as productive, just 2.5 sacks, but did up his tackle total from 24 to 25 to 37 last year in extended snaps. He had 5 tackles for loss. That number this year is up to 19 for his career. It's, again, not jaw-dropping stuff from a statistical perspective, but certainly some production there. I went over to the Pro Football Focus grades, and I know some people love them, some people hate them, but it started off his rookie year at a 45.3. He was a 30.1 against the run. We know he's tall. He struggles sometimes with leverage. He struggles against the run. He did so as a rookie, just 30 on that run grade. Tackling's been an issue, 40.1 on tackling, but the pass rush, 67.7, which is a very, very solid grade as a rookie. His second year, the overall grades went down. He went down to a 36.5 overall on defense. That is not good. 28 in the run game, 28 in tackling, and up to 57 in pass rush. It's clear after 2 years, like, pass rush is what he is absolutely best at. And then you look at this past year, and the grades did go up. He went from a 37 to a 53 overall. He went from a 28 against the run to a 46 against the run. And you look at his pass rush, it went up from 57 to 62 in terms of the reps. Every grade went up, and that was his first year under Bo Davis. Here's my overall take on Bresee after laying that out. He plays a lot of games. He's shown sack potential. He's improved based on the grades, people that are watching the tape. And the last piece, he plays interior defensive line. If I had a 24-year-old, 25-year-old slot wide receiver who was a first-round pick, who wasn't making that many catches, but hitting a couple of 80-yarders, struggle with some drops, I can probably replace that guy pretty quick and not cough up $14 million. I can't find a guy with pass rush potential on the interior at that age, at that contract number on the open market. I can't. And what he's done in the NFL is proof he can do it. You could draft a guy in the first round to play on the interior and try to rush the pass. You can draft a guy in the second round, but do you know he can play at all? You could draft Isaiah Foskey. That's a second-round pick. You could draft Marcus Davenport. That ain't getting it. So, Peyton Turner, like, you know the risks there. There's no real risk on Bresee. You know what he is. At worst, he's a rotational piece that can get after the passer and is capable and young and on a fairly cheap deal. So, to me, as I analyze it, based on the numbers, some mild improvement, and most importantly, the position he plays. Because, I mean, look, the dude's 6'5", 305, and he can move. And in the first 2 years of his deal, he rolled up with 11, 12, 13, 14 sacks. I think that's a guy you need to keep around. He's been nothing but a consummate professional. He's been a great piece to your locker room. He joined us on Radio Row at the Super Bowl last year and was gracious with his time and completely affable. Now, that doesn't mean that you know the guy, but, like, there aren't a lot of strikes against Bryan Bresee other than that he's not a dominant player and he needs to get better, even better than he was last year against the run. You've got some help for him inside You've signed some veterans over the last 2 years to help him inside. I just think at his age, with an option to have him for 2 more years on a really reasonable deal at a position that's hard to find, this is kind of a no-brainer to me once you put all that together. Brian Brzee option was picked up. It should have been picked up, and I think he's a part of the Saints defense for the next 2 years. A star? No. A Pro Bowler? Probably not. But maybe with his second year under Bo Davis, considering the run defense got better, considering that he was on the field for more snaps, considering we know there's pass rush ability in there, maybe you strike a little bit of a late bloomer. The very worst, if you get what you've got in the last 2 years, it's a serviceable player in the middle of your defense.
Yeah, and I honestly, it should be a no-brainer, like you said. There's just no way that once you laid it out, you laid the numbers out, that he improved that much from last year to this year. And a guy that's 24 years old, and I get it, he's not Dexter Lawrence, he's not Jeffrey Simmons, he's not one of these prestigious, defensive tackles, but that's okay. He does his job. He's healthy. Again, healthy in the middle of your defense. 17, I think he said 15 games last year. You can't, that's hard to find. A guy that's available. Availability is your best ability, and he's available. He's showing you that he's able to improve every year, even though he had a little bit that's weird, though. His grades were worse year 2, and he had that was like his statistically his best year.
Got the sacks.
Yeah, he got the sacks. Again, and then you have that upside of him getting sacks. You have that type of pass rusher. You have a Chase Young with a Gradison. Let's say Ruben Bain falls or something. That's a ferocious pass rush. Get Cam Jordan back and bring him on certain packages, put him inside with Brzee. Ferocious pass rush. It's a no-brainer. You can't find guys like this falling out of trees. Simple as that. You can't.
I mean, you tried the free agent route to an extent with Colin Saunders and that's a non-impact deal, and those guys are gonna be more expensive, or they're gonna be the bottom of the barrel and not nearly a first-round talent. So it's just not. This is a pretty easy one. Now, when you go to re-up things in 2 years, and if the stats look the same, you probably don't bring him back at age 25, 26 if he hadn't really improved against the run, and he's a one-trick pony at that point later on in his career. But at this point, because you're the only team that's got the option, and you've got a guy that you think you can improve upon at that age with that skill set, I think it's a good thing for New Orleans, and I think that's a good pickup. Well, not pickup, extension for them on the interior of your defensive line. It's a slow time right now with New Orleans, with the Saints. There's not a lot of activity in free agency. You get that pickup there. Everybody's kind of gearing up for the draft, and it's still 3 weeks away, so it's hard to completely sell out for. But I think this is a positive day for the Saints.
Now I'm thinking about it, Hunt. This is it kind of like, when you think about it, it's kind of like when you get a new pair of socks for Christmas. You didn't want socks. Nobody wants socks. But when you look at it, you kind of needed those socks.
I needed socks.
You needed socks. You didn't want socks for Christmas, but you needed them. That's what Brzee is. He's not the flash. He's not the new Xbox, not new PlayStation. But you did need your socks have holes in them. Get some new pair of socks. That's what it is.
Sometimes the socks I wear in here have holes in them, and I'm just
It'd be like that,
don't want to throw them away. But I think we're good today. I think we've got holeless socks on today. Saints got a holeless defensive front today.
Thank you.
We love that. All right, let's take a timeout. Come back. SEC baseball power rankings coming your way.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Speaking of baseball, Marucci, go take a tour over at Marucci. You can find them at MarucciSports.com online. And you can buy tickets to take a tour to see where the official bat of Major League Baseball is made. Go to MarucciSports.com/campus-tour and buy that ticket. With the ticket for the tour, you get a 20% discount in the Campus Tour store and in the Hitter's House. Every wood bat inside Marucci is handcrafted in Baton Rouge. Step inside the wood shop, see where they make them. Hear the story of how you go from a backyard shed to the highest level in the world. That's what Marucci has done over the last 22 years. Got a youth baseball team? Take them to see it. Youth softball team? Take them to see it. They can grab some sticks, get in the cages, swing the lumber. It's a great spot, great tour. What a gym here in Baton Rouge. It's Marucci. Check them out online at MarucciSports.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Lock Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Highland Insurance Group's online at highlandig.com. That's highlandig.com. Do you know what your property policy says for your commercial operation? Do you know what it says? You just know what it costs. You know that draw is coming out every month, but do you know where that building valuation came from? Do you know if you're potentially going to incur co-insurance costs if your valuation's wrong? Do you know what your storm deductible is, if it's a named storm or it's just wind and hail? Are there ways for you to get credits on that property policy? If you don't know the answer to some of these questions, you're not alone, not by a long shot. But you may need a second set of eyeballs on your commercial insurance program. And that's what the Highland Insurance Group wants to do. Jonathan Carbo and his team, they know what they're doing, and they know how to make sure that their clients are protected. In some instances, that's saving them money. But in every event, you know that no matter when that storm comes, what may happen, you're covered and your business is protected. That's the goal of the broker. So you need to be able to trust your insurance broker like your attorney, like your CPA. Trust your insurance broker. Make them a part of your team. That's what the goal is of the Highland Insurance Group. Find them online at highlandig.com. Highlandig.com. They're here in Baton Rouge. It's the Highland Insurance Group. All right, we've kind of reached the end of the line here. 20 minutes to go in the show, and it's that time with some SEC baseball power rankings.
Hunt's SEC Power Rankings. The Texas Longhorns.
I still think the Horns are the best team. It starts with that rotation, and they have swung the bats exceptionally well as well. They got stunned in the opener against South Carolina. I'll give you that. It happens. It's 30 games. They can be weird, but I think Texas is the best team in the SEC and maybe the best team in the country. I'll give the hat tip to UCLA at this point, but I like the Horns at the top of the conference.
The LSU Tigers.
I wish. That is not right.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think everyone was going a little bit nuts there. What? We beat Tennessee 2 out of 3? We're number 2 in the country? 2 in the conference? Nope. Georgia Bulldogs they went to Starkville and swept a 3-game series. All 3 were very close. This is a Georgia team that's got real dudes in the bullpen, and they can absolutely hit. Incredible weekend for them to go to Starkville and sweep. Georgia moves up 1 spot to number 2.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
I'm not penalizing State too much. They were in every single game. They're playing without their ace, who they expect at some point to come back. Ace Reese is swinging the bat exceptionally well. They play good defense. I like this Mississippi State pitching staff. Got the best number 2 starter in the SEC right now. So give me Mississippi State at number 3. They only fall 1 spot.
The Auburn Tigers.
No one's going to agree with this. This is the eye test for me. I know that their offensive statistics are terrible. They're second in the in ERA, which I love. But in their offense, they're 15th in batting average, 15th in home runs. I get it. I think they're going to hit a little bit more, and I trust the pitching staff. I think Marciano is great. I think they've moved their midweek starter to potentially Friday. He was brilliant last week against Arkansas. So I know they lost the series. I got it. It was in Auburn. They got swept by Alabama. They haven't been great the last 2 weeks. I'm going to hold on Auburn real quick, and I'm going to leave them at number 4.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
I'm well aware that Bama swept Auburn. Well aware. I got it. I'm just not 100% bought in yet. Faye's good through the no-hitter. Zane Adams is good. Justin LeBron's good. What's the rest of the lineup like? Like, Brady Neal's their second-best hitter right now. I thought he would be a good hitter in his college time. He wasn't for 3 years. But he's their best hitter right now outside of LeBron. How good do I feel about that? We'll see. I got Alabama up 2 spots to number 5.
The Florida Gators.
I don't know what to do with Florida. I backed them up 1 spot. They lose 2 out of 3 at home to Ole Miss. They've been swept this year. They've also gone to Arkansas and gotten a sweep. I think they're good. They're talented for sure. Their top 2 arms are excellent. I move them back 1 spot to 6.
Texas A&M!
A&M's pitching is not good. They don't have an ace. Their bullpen is really suspect. It's a problem. And you go, well, why do you say that and put them at 7, up 4 spots? They hit like crazy. They're 3rd in the league in batting average, 2nd in doubles, 3rd in homers, 2nd in slugging, 1st in on-base percentage, 2nd in runs. This team can score with Sorrell and Hakopian are phenomenal, and obviously Grahovic is back and healthy. So they're as good an offense as there is in the league. That's why I've got them up at 7, even though I hate the pitching staff.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Hogs are 5-7, and they're nowhere near 8th in the standings, but I have them 8th because I just believe in Dave Van Horn. I think they'll figure some things out. Here's the deal, though. Arkansas is 5-7, and their next 6 games are this. At Alabama, who is near the top of the conference, and then Georgia comes to Fayetteville. So this is time for the Hogs to figure some things out. You go 1-5 or 2-4 over the next couple, and all of a sudden you're 7-11 in the league. It becomes a little bit more difficult. But I'm not there yet, so I got Arkansas back at number 8, back 2 spots.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
I left Vandy at 9. They keep hitting homers, and that's a good thing to do, is hit homers. If you hadn't known, they hit a lot of homers against LSU. They hit a lot of homers against Tennessee. They hit a lot of homers against every team they play just about, and that's why I've got them at 9.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
I bumped Ole Miss in front of LSU. I've got Ole Miss at number 10. Elliott's pretty good. Townsend's back pitching, so that's a good start. They got 2 really trusted bullpen arms, and they do hit home runs. They went to Florida and gutted out a big rubber game win and a close one. They're not a work of art. They've got significant flaws on offense, but I take Ole Miss and I put them at number 10. They've moved up 3 spots this week.
The LSU Tigers.
LSU was 12 last week. They're 11 this week. Nice win on the road. They do now have the worst fielding percentage in the Southeastern Conference, and here's a little bit of a problem. Kason Evans has made 4 SEC starts. One of them was against Oklahoma, where he went deep into the game, into the 8th inning, and didn't give up any runs. With that start, included in 4 starts, that's 25% of his starts. His SEC ERA is 5.24. He's given up 13 earned runs in 22 1/3. That's just not quite ace behavior out of Kason Evans. That's a part that has to improve for LSU to move up in this thing.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
I dropped Kentucky 4 spots for losing 2 out of 3 to Missouri. I watched them in person. I don't think they're that good. I think Jelkin's good. I think their ace is good. I don't think the rest of that team is very good. I don't think they hit. I don't think their bullpen's great. I don't think the rest of the rotation's great. Maybe bias with Mingione, but I've got Kentucky back at number 12.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Tennessee lost 2 out of 3 at home, and I moved them up a spot. I had them 14 last week. I've got them 13 this week. I think Landon Mack's good. He struck out 10 LSU Tigers. I think Tegan Coons is electrifying. He handcuffed LSU. Appenzeller has not given up a single run in SEC play. Evan Blanco's a pretty good Sunday starter. Like, they've got some good arms, and they've got some talented bats. Henry Ford can swing it. Blaine Brown can swing it. They can hit. They're just not hitting enough, and their bullpen is awful. So, yeah, that's 13th, but I did move them up even though they lost because there's real talent at places in that roster. That's why they're there.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
I think Oklahoma's leaking oil. They started out like a house on fire. LJ Mercurius was thought to be their ace. His ERA in the SEC is 13.17, which is not good. Cam Johnson in 20 SEC innings has walked 19 hitters. That's their top two arms, and they don't hit for any power. That's a recipe for disaster. I don't like Oklahoma at all at this point. I've moved them back from 10 to 14.
The Missouri Tigers.
Hey, Missouri won a series, and guess what? They won a series. Their next one's against South Carolina. They could win 2 series in a row. I got Missouri at number 15. Shout out to you.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And I got the Gamecocks at the bottom. They are 2-10 in SEC play. They lost again last night to College of Charleston. They are 15-19 overall. They are the worst team in the SEC. LSU gets them in 4 weeks. Can you get there with your head above water? We'll see. That's my SEC power rankings. Texas still tops the poll. Georgia moves up to the 2 spot. Mississippi State bumps back to 3. I still got Auburn at 4. I'm probably the only person that would do that, but I like the pitching staff. I trust them. Bama's at 5. Florida is at 6. A&M, the big mover, up. They're up to 7 because of their offense. Arkansas dips to number 8. Vanderbilt's at 9. With all those home runs, they're holding steady. Ole Miss jumps to number 10 from 13. LSU's 11, up 1 spot. Kentucky backs way up after dropping an ugly series. They are at number 12. Tennessee at 13. Oklahoma at 14. Missouri at 15. South Carolina is the worst team in the league. Those are my SEC power rankings for this week. I anxiously await people jumping on Instagram to tell me that it's ridiculous that LSU's ranked ahead of Oklahoma when Oklahoma beat them 2 out of 3. Well, have you seen Oklahoma lose 5 of their last 6? That actually did happen. I think it'll be people that will say you have. It's ridiculous that you would have Auburn above Bama. Bama swept Auburn. I understand. I think Bama's not as good as Auburn. Just my opinion. Say, well, Mississippi State got swept. Why are they all the way up here at number 3? Well, they're really good. That's why they are that way. I can't go by every single head-to-head ranking and make them all work in a 16-team ranking. I'm going off body of work and the vibes I feel about them moving forward. That's why I go where I go. So for LSU, what do you got coming up in these power rankings? Well, you got Ole Miss next. They're 10th. Then you got A&M coming to you. They're 7th. Then you're going to go to Mississippi State. They are 3rd. After that, you got South Carolina. They're dead last. They come to you. Then you got a road trip to Georgia. They're the 2nd best team in the league. And then you finish with Florida. That's at 6. So remaining for LSU, at number 10, home number 7, at number 3, home number 16, at number 2, home number 6. That's what's awaiting the Fighting Tigers. Plenty of time to make up RPI points. I wrote about that at LouisianaSports.net. You can go check that out if you want a little look at what LSU's metrics are looking like. It is not an in-depth piece. Those come in May. This is just a tone setter with what's to come for LSU. You got a lot of opportunities. Those opportunities come in difficult circumstances, and they present landmines. But if you can pick up some wins here or there, you can really impress your standing because you're facing some really talented teams with a lot of wins on the board here moving forward. So we'll take one more time out. Come back and close it out.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Neil and Melissa, awesome people. Awesome people from down there in the 985. And they'll help you get that Generac home standby generator installed at your home. You'll have a group of full-time employees from Boudreaux's Electrical come do the installation, not somebody contracted in to just get it done and get out. Just a full-time employee will come do it. And they'll monitor your generator 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to make sure there's not a mechanical breakdown. If there is, they send somebody out there to make sure it's fixed because you need that generator to be ready when the time you least expect it. Hurricane could come through. Nasty afternoon shower should come through. Hey, here comes a winter event like we had this past year. You can stand and rest assured that you're not going to lose power when you got that Generac home standby generator from the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Call the local team at 985-397-1562 or 225-300-9389. You can do the easy thing and check them out at boudreauxelectrical.com. That's Boudreaux's Electrical, boudreauxelectrical.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Failure happens to us all, but it's how champions evolve. The only thing that matters from a loss is if you get back up when you fall. You gotta get up. Failure happens to us all, but this is how champions evolve. The only thing that matters from a loss is when you get back up.
Our Wednesday shows are brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. You can find them online at builtbyrenaissance.com. Give you Joey Landry's Joey Blanchard's number one more time. 225-252-7745. Get you in that home, that pool, that outdoor kitchen of your dreams. BuiltByRenaissance.com. All right, busy show coming your way tomorrow. Looking very much forward to that. LSU's back out on the practice field tomorrow, so we'll have a practice report for you, one on LouisianaSports.net, and I'll certainly talk about it here. We'll have Joe Healy getting you ready for an SEC weekend on the Diamond. I know that Texas A&M and Texas played this weekend, which is obviously a big series. LSU will be in Oxford to take on the Ole Miss Rebels. One of my favorite SEC ballparks. I've not been to many of them, but I've taken in three series that LSU played in Swayze Field, and it's a great environment. They've done a really good job making it feel kind of cozy. They do some choreographed dance stuff that if you're an LSU fan who hates everybody else in the league, you'll go, that's really stupid. I hate everybody in the league, but I'm okay with traditions that I think are pretty fun, and I like that one. I think it's cool that they let the students out there with big old ice chests and they can have a big old time. I think that's what makes college baseball great. So we'll talk about that as well. Chris Blair will join us as he does on Thursdays to preview that series. So plenty to do on a Thursday as always. So looking forward to that show. For the rest of this show, let's play Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so it's a lot of fifth-year option talk going on.
Yeah.
You know, we just talked about Brian Brzee. So the Houston Texans, they're in the news. They did it for Will Anderson, of course.
Oh, did they?
Didn't see that. But C.J. Stroud. So this is the interesting thing because we all know how C.J. Stroud played last year. There's a lot of questions. Did the Texans, were they going to... You saw the playoff game. Nothing else to be said. So,
unfortunately for CJ and his agent.
Very unfortunate. So, did the Texans make the right move by giving CJ Stroud his fifth-year option? Take it or leave it. Yeah.
I'll take it. Okay.
I'll take it.
I think he's got a chance. I think Bryce Young has no chance.
Okay.
I think CJ Stroud has a chance, but he looked atrocious late in the season last year. So, I think it's worth a shot.
It's worth the shot.
It's not a 10-year contract extension. It's one. I would give it a shot, so I'll take it.
So it's just like, is it kind of... I
don't know what my confidence level is,
okay, that's
but it's high enough to do it.
Okay.
It's high enough to do it.
You already knew that's all about to gauge it,
Yeah.
so you're saying like this is just a one-year thing or you're just locking in with him. So the ABS system has umpires very unhappy, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Per Ken Rosenthal, some umpires are quietly stewing because they feel that the standard is now nearly impossible as they're being judged. Since the start of the ABS system, there's been 653 challenges, with 351 of them being overturned, 54%. So is the ABS system bad for baseball? Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it.
Leave it alone.
Nobody is asking for the umpires to be perfect on 98-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Right.
We're just saying, when you miss, we're going to make up for it.
Yep.
And I've watched the Cubs play a lot, and a lot of these challenges are, it's a call to ball, and then it's a strike because it touched by a stitch and a half.
Okay.
No one is going to watch the game and look at that and go, well, this umpire's an idiot. He couldn't see that. Everyone's just like, okay, we got it right.
Yeah.
Like there have been some egregious ones, some just right down Main Street, or some that are like Kyle Schwarber took a 3-ball pitch. It was way high. It was called a strike. He tapped his helmet and then literally started taking off his clothes and walking to first. Like,
Yeah,
this
he already knew.
And that was a bad one, and that happens. And so at that point, you may say, hey, let's do a little bit better than that. But everyone is aware that the ball's moving 99 miles an hour. It's got 14 inches of run on it, and it's a hard game to call. But we have the technology to help you, umpire, and we're going to do that now. So I don't think they should feel bad unless you're getting overturned 11 times a game.
Like that one guy.
And yeah, exactly. And the beauty is that it's fast. It's like the tennis. What's the tennis one called?
Oh, I have no idea. This is a Jimmy Ott question. He's huge on tennis.
I can't think of the name of it.
Just say review.
Yeah, they have it. The technology. I want to say it's named after like an animal. It doesn't matter. We have and it goes quick. It's like they tap it.
Yeah.
They show the trajectory of the ball. All right, we're done. So I like that.
I think the NBA needs to take notes because it feels like their reviews are forever.
Yeah,
the NBA
college
and
baseball
NFL.
takes a while.
Ridiculous wait time. So Elijah Haven, Baton Rouge very own. Is it from Baton Rouge or is
Yes.
it? Yeah, Baton Rouge very own.
Well, Dunham. I'm not sure exactly where he lives in city limits, but Dunham.
225 area, the
Yes.
top-ranked quarterback in the class of 2027. He's the first high school athlete to sign an NIL deal with EA Sports, the video game company that makes Madden and college football. So is this something we're going to be seeing more down the line? Top quarterback signing with a video game company? Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. They can put him on the game. That's
I'll
something
be
they
crazy
want to
in
do.
high
I
school.
mean, look, people pay attention to high school athletes in
Very.
recruiting. They do. Now, it was probably at a fever pitch like 10 years ago, and not much now with the portal, but still they do. So yeah, I think that's perfectly fine.
All right, so that's it for Take It.
I want to say the tennis technology is called Hawkeye.
I'll Google it real quick. We got time. I'll Google it.
Hawkeye technology on tennis. I'm reading the Bayou 4 chat. There are folks in there talking about food poisoning. I've never gotten food poisoning. I think it might be a ruse. I think it might be fake.
Hunt, I've had it before. It's bad. I didn't had it. Some people really bed sick. I've had it come out both sides. Like I'm talking, I'm I'm shaking on the toilet like, oh my God, what is going on? Like, I've been there. No, it's real.
I think
it's
could
real.
Be a fake. I think people are making up this food poisoning thing. I never had that.
Man, look, my grandma used to make me drink some 7-Up. Shit, I guess 7-Up cured everything. She used to drink me. My grandma Shreveport, God rest her soul, 7-Up, you be good as new.
You're good to go.
Good as new.
Get back out there, get to work.
Good as new.
That's what Grandma said. If you missed any of the show today, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. We opened the show today talking about LSU's loss to Bethune-Cookman. Just a brutal loss for LSU. No other way to put that. Lane Kiffin talked about his wide receivers. I went back and looked at some of his wide receivers over the years, and they have been he's really spread the ball out a good bit, and I talked about that a good bit at 1:15. What If Wednesday? We did a little bit earlier on in the show as well. I did my Masters picks at 1:45. So you're looking for some worst bets, you can go check that out and maybe fade those. Koki Riley, the Advocate, talking LSU baseball at 2:00. Saints picked up Brian Brzez's option. I gave you my opinion on that. You can find it wherever you find your podcast at Hunt on Saints and SEC Power Rankings. Tigers come in at 11 in the SEC Baseball Power Rankings today. All right, that's it for us. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. Hope everybody has a happy and safe Wednesday evening. We're back tomorrow. Football Practice Report, talking baseball as well on The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Under new ownership, the Fabry family took over back on October the 1st. So go by and see them. Such a large selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Maybe you want a brand new ride. Brand new truck. They got it. Silverado's up to $11,000 off MSRP. Brand new truck. GMC Sierra up to $13,000 off MSRP. They got them for you. Maybe you want a pre-owned vehicle. You can check out the inventory right there on FabryChevrolet.com. You know, when you're working with the Fabry family, you're going to get what you've gotten for 35 years in this town. An amazing buying experience, wonderful customer service. That service extends after the sale. That's just the reputation they've built, because that's what they care about at the Fabry family. They've had 3 locations, 5 brands, and now got this point for Chevy GMC on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Make the short drive from Baton Rouge, wherever you are in the surrounding areas. Get a great deal at Fabry Chevrolet. Find them online at FabryChevrolet.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed